Hello, all you beautiful people out there. It is Jay. I just wanted to stop by here before we start this episode because it has been quite some time since this little shindig went down, and I have been through quite a bit of personal drama in that time. I know it's been about a year since we had an episode and about 2 years since we were doing this regularly. The whole concept of this show is PAWsitivity and bringing people up and creators that we love. So I really don't want to bog people down, but I also feel a need to be honest with everyone out there of why I have not been here. And the first thing has to be that I lost my soulmate cat, Nibbler. As you can probably guess, Nibbler is the entire basis of this show. I had my best friend Nibbler for about 13 years of my life, and he lived all across Colorado with me, from Capitol Hill to Montrose County and anywhere in between. This time I also lost a stray cat that I brought in. I named Mort after the Terry Pratchett book because he had a scar on his ear, much like Mort has a scar on his cheek when death slapped him, and it always seemed like Mort survived death to be with me in his last years of life. I also lost my perfect girl Bella, who actually grew to become such a huge part of my life and found just about every way possible she could perfect herself to what I needed without ever having to ask her. I did lose all of those cats at different times during the course of this time from different causes. And on top of all of that, I was also diagnosed with ADHD and recommended to get a test for autism. A lot of this has brought up a lot of trauma in the past that now makes sense of why things have happened. And as far as ADHD goes, you could probably guess I have it if you just look around this room. This all has been a pretty life-changing experience for me, figuring out a lot of these realizations of the neurodivergency and this loss. I know I needed to go on kind of a healing path, and the first step I know I really wanted to do to kind of feel comfortable in my own body again was I wanted to get a tattoo of Nibbler. Now, I knew Bella was sick at the time when I was going to go get the tattoo, and I crossed my mind to not do it, but I wouldn't have forgiven myself if I didn't add her to the tattoo at the time, and I'm so thankful that I did. I got this tattoo from my good friend Renee at Kitchens Ink Tattoo down in Denver, and it definitely was a big healing thing and helped a lot even with the loss of Bella. Me being the cat man I am, I still have my most magical friend Gandalf, and we adopted 2 new friends into the family with my newest best buddy, the mighty Joxer, who is the center of happiness in the house, and the security chief of the upstairs, Miss Tasha Yar.
I believe I have a solution.
You know, that could work. If I didn't spend so much time hyper-focusing on all this stuff, I could have spent more time with the cats. Are you saying you could change that?
What, my friend, something like that to me is like making a heaping bowl of salt. Let me just get my hat and staff and follow me out this time door.
Time door? I don't know. I thought it was just office door.
Yeah, my dad is great. My dad is great. My dad is great.
Hey, you sad, delusional child. You're better off in a fantasy world than with him.
Oh, loser, my dad's the best. Isn't that right, Terrell?
Look, if you don't believe me, just look at this picture of him from the future. Told ya. No. No, not right now.
Sketch, McGow.
Hey, Lord Douchebag. Can't you see the little lady wants to read comics with you? Now listen here, don't you understand? I put up an imaginary deadline to finish as many of these as I possibly could in as little time as possible, so that way I could probably not meet my deadline and get really upset for maybe a day or two until I find another hyperfixation. So if you excuse me... I know, Bella, just hold on a second. I need to do this quick before the latex dries. No. No. That's about 1 inch thick of latex. Good luck tearing that apart, idiot. Perfect. There we go. Let's have your booster shots, right? Hey, you dirty hippie, can't you tell you got your soulmate sitting right there? Maybe give this crappy little thing a break. You know, you are going to end up making one of the best Howard cosplays imaginable in the future, so maybe just spend some time with him. Bug off, losers. I don't trust anyone over 30. Well, you're not going to really like this. So, Jay, after all that, how you doing? Well, Nibs, happy.
It's Nibs
That's me.
and Jay
That's you.
on Pop Culture Positivity. Nibs
Hey, Nibs.
and Jay
Hey, Jay.
on Pop Culture Positivity.
Hello, the web. We're back after a long hiatus, and we're all ready for Halloween.
That's right, Nibs, and we have a slew of great friends joining us here on Pop Culture Positivity, including Bella, who will be on every single episode giving us some sage advice. And she happens to be a pretty perfect being here to everybody at Pop Culture Positivity, so she will also be popping in on items that we deem perfect.
We want to cover more ground this time around, as we'll be covering more items in less time. This will also allow us to include more cat friends, and maybe even some other special guests along the way.
We are both so excited to be back, and during spooky season is just perfect for us all. We do have a few good spooky items we're going to talk about during this episode, including another First Four Figures statue of Pumpkin Banjo, as well as the entire NECA, TMNT, and Universal Studios Monsters mashup figures. That is, we don't have Wolfman yet because he's yet to come out, but we do know he's coming out, as well as some others in the new series.
We wanted to cover a non-spooky item as well, as it seems rather vitally important to our Lego-obsessed selves. The Lego Tuxedo Cat. And take a look at ours. Jay has already put in some work and time to take this already great model and customize it to look like yours truly.
Although most of this customization could be done with regular Lego pieces, a few did require paint to ensure all of Nib's right markings were there, including his green eyes and a brown dot that always showed up in his left eye. Although this Tuxedo Cat is definitely near perfection, I think the only movement it can make worth being noted is at the neck. Having the paws twist and the tail barely move left a little bit to be desired, but, you know, being able to look at my best friend in Lego form is a pretty hard dopamine boost to beat. On a personal level, I'd probably have to say this is my favorite Lego set, but On a building perspective, it's kind of simple, and on that, I would say a lot of the Monkey Kid sets from a few years ago are definitely my favorites, and most of those are probably perfect items for me.
Those sets, many of which are perfect, will be covered at another time. But for now, let's get spooky.
That was weird. At least we got our backup light down here. You know, you live in a small town and sometimes the electricity just goes out like that. But I will say, we do have some catching up to do on some of these first four figures statues since our last adventure.
But we had to jump forward because we got this amazing piece just in time for Halloween. Worthy to mention that Mad Monster Mansion is my personal favorite level of Banjo-Kazooie.
I will say, this is my favorite transformation yet. We do know that the termite is next, but we personally have the whole set of Jinjos coming next from the Banjo collection.
If we take a look at the statue here, the base is just as fun as the crocodile, which we've covered. Getting a fun differentiation in the blue and yellow changing swirl definitely makes each statue stand out well.
One detail with this that I absolutely love is the top of the pumpkin flying off. It adds so much character, you could just hear the noise of this pumpkin bouncing around Mad Monster Mansion. Sadly, you can also hear the noise of him bouncing around in Lago.
This statue is also near perfect, but it's hard to compare to the beauty of Mumbo and Gruntilda, which I definitely view as such.
Now, as close as this pumpkin is to perfect, we do have a mashup of epic proportions next.
If you can't tell by looking at me, we love the Ninja Turtles. But we also love the Universal Monsters. So when they announced a deluxe action figure set combining the two, we lost our collective minds, and some say we haven't found them since.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste, as is a good skin regiment. So far, we have 8 released and know of one more to come.
To start off, we got the 4 turtles with Raphael as Frankenstein's monster, Leonardo as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Michelangelo as the Mummy, and Donatello as the Invisible Man.
Following that, we branched away from Turtles and got Casey Jones as Phantom of the Opera, April O'Neil as Bride of Frankenstein, and Splinter as Van Helsing.
They have decided to delve back into the turtles in a new set, with the first being Leonardo as the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I will say, I don't know a mashup as perfect as this for us, and although we may have personally switched some characters around, there are so many moments of perfection, like Casey Jones' Phantom with his mask, and the bonus head for Mikey emulating the famous rotting TMNT movie mask.
So many fun details, mixing the two genres we love, like the pieces in Donatello's invisible shell, April's microphone staff, the piranha on Leo the creature's fishing hook sword, and all of the amazing accessories inside Leonardo's hunchback shell.
Now, we do love all of these figures as a whole, and they all have a proper place in our TMNT hallway to see every single day. Not only are they beautifully presented, but they pose awesomely as well. Which brings us to introduce one of our newest partners here, who deems these figures as being our first perfect item. And that is our good friend Bella.
Hello everyone, I'm Bella, and aside from always knowing how to make Jay smile, I give sage advice and my seal of perfection on items that we all love so much the world needs to know they're perfect. The first we'll be giving away is to NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universal Monster Mashups.
It is indeed a monster mash. But I don't even think it's legal to have a graveyard smash.
I do gotta say, you should go buy all of these figures right now if you can. But even better is having you here with us on camera for the first time, Bella. Now,
If I remember correctly, you wanted to leave us with some sage advice?
That's right, Jay. The world's an immensely stressful place at the moment, and for many reasons, I just want to urge you all to be the reason somebody smiles today. You'll be amazed at how much more positive a person's day can be with one smile. And you have the power to make that change with every single person you see.
Amazing advice from an even more amazing person. Now, it's pretty fantastic to be back here with all of my friends, even if it did cost a bit of reconstructive surgery. But all jokes aside, I do want to say, I do love all these past versions of myself. But in realizing that they were all kind of masks of my neurodivergence, I kind of wanted to get rid of those masks. That's the subject at hand.
Being kind is key, even to oneself. It's as I always say, be kind, love often, and respect always. We can all do better.